All right, so you're thinking about opening a fast food franchise here in the UK.
That's right.
Got that entrepreneurial spirit burning, eh? Well, before you go all in on burgers and fries,
You want to make sure you're not biting off more than you can chew.
exactly. That's why we're here today. We're going on a deep dive into what it really takes to run a successful fast food franchise in the UK. We've got a ton of great research in front of us.
Full of all the juicy details you're going to need.
We'll be covering everything. The costs, the competition, the steps involved, the works. So if you're ready to get your hands dirty and find out if this is the right path for you, stick with us.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's talk money. What kind of investment are we talking about here just to get started?
Well, like any business venture, it all starts with that initial investment. And in the franchise world, that means a franchise fee.
Okay, so that's basically the price tag for using the brand's name, their recipes, their whole system.
Exactly. You're buying into a proven model, a recognizable brand, and the support that comes with it.
And I'm guessing that price tag varies wildly depending on the brand. I mean, opening a McDonald's is going to cost a bit more than, say, your local kebab shop, right?
Absolutely. Think of it like real estate. The brand, the location, the size of the operation all play a role. So, for example, a Subway franchise, you're looking at around £15,000.
Okay,
Want the Colonel's secret recipe? KFC, that'll be about £30,000.
makes sense.
But if you're dreaming of those golden arches, McDonald's is going to set you back a cool £45,000.
Wow, 45,000 pounds just to get started with McDonald's. I had a feeling it would be up there, but still. And that's just the beginning, right?
Oh, yeah, that franchise fee is just the tip of the iceberg. Next comes the really big expenses, setting up your location.
Right, gotta have a place to serve those burgers.
We're talking rent or maybe even buying property, construction, fitting it out with that signature brand look, all the kitchen equipment. It adds up fast.
So ovens, fryers, grills, the whole shebang, plus all those digital ordering systems everyone's using these days. Gotta stay with the times.
Exactly. And don't forget seating, decor, making sure everything meets those strict brand standards. You're looking at somewhere between £100,000 and £300,000 for this part alone.
300,000 pounds. That's more than some houses cost. And then the equipment itself.
Oh, yeah. Fryers, ovens, grills, refrigerators, those fancy point of sale systems. That's another 50,000 to 150,000 pounds.
So we've got the franchise fee, the location setup, and the equipment. What else?
Don't forget about inventory. You need to stock up on food, packaging, napkins, the whole 9 yards. And then there are the licenses and permits, business licenses, health and safety permits, food handling certifications. Running a legitimate business means ticking all those legal boxes.
Right, because food safety is no joke. You don't want to be known for giving your customers food poisoning.
Exactly. Nobody wants that kind of publicity.
And what about training? I'm sure there's a cost involved in learning the ropes and making sure everyone's up to brand standards.
Absolutely. Training is crucial to maintain that consistency and quality that franchise customers expect. You and your staff need to be well versed in the franchise's procedures, recipes, customer service standards. You're looking at somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 pounds to get everyone properly trained.
Okay, so let me try to digest all of this. We've got the franchise fee, location setup, equipment, inventory, licenses, and training. Anything else? Or can I finally order dessert?
Almost there. One more crucial element, working capital. This is the financial cushion you need to cover those initial operating costs, keep the lights on, pay your staff before you start seeing a profit.
So basically a reserve to cover those early months when you're building your customer base.
Exactly. You want to have anywhere between 30,000 to 100,000 pounds in working capital.
Wow, so let's do the math. Franchise fee, site setup, equipment, inventory, licenses, training, and working capital.
We're looking at a total initial investment that can range from around 150,000 pounds to a whopping 500,000 pounds.
Yeah, that's a serious chunk of change. Makes you think twice about that easy money idea of owning a fast food joint.
It's definitely a reality check. It's crucial to understand the full financial scope before jumping in.
Okay, so let's say someone is still interested after hearing those numbers. What comes after that initial investment? Because the spending doesn't just magically stop there, right?
Oh, no, not at all. Just because you flip the open sign doesn't mean you're off the hook financially. There are ongoing costs to keep in mind.
Okay, hit me with it. What are we talking about here?
Well, first and foremost, royalties. This is basically rent you pay to the franchisor for the continued use of their brand, systems, and support.
So, like paying rent to a landlord, but instead you're paying the brand to use their name and their system.
Exactly. And the typical royalty rate falls somewhere between 4% and 10% of your gross sales. And remember, that's every month, year after year.
So let's say I'm selling 100,000 pounds worth of burgers a month. That means I could be giving up between 4,000 to 10,000 pounds of that back to the franchisor.
That's right. And it's not the only recurring cost. There are also marketing and advertising fees.
Right. Got to keep those cravings coming.
You'll be contributing to national and regional campaigns to keep that brand awareness high. Usually, it's an additional 2% to 5% of your gross sales.
So on top of the royalties, another 2% to 5% for marketing. So in that 100,000 pounds a month scenario, that's another 2,000 pounds, 5,000 pounds going towards marketing.
Exactly.
So just to be clear, on top of all the initial costs, we're potentially giving up 6% to 15% of our revenue every month just for royalties and marketing.
That's the reality of the franchise model.
Wow, that's a lot to swallow.
It is a significant portion of your earnings, so you really need to factor that into your profitability calculations.
Okay, but we're not done yet, right?
Yeah.
There are more expenses lurking in the shadows, aren't there?
Of course. Don't forget the everyday expenses of running a business. Insurance, utilities, maintenance, those all add up.
Okay, break it down for me. What am I looking at?
Insurance to cover your property, liability, and employees. Utilities can easily be a few £1,000s a month for electricity, water, gas, and internet.
Internet costs. You can't skimp on that these days, especially
Wow.
with all the online ordering going on.
Absolutely. Then you've got maintenance and repairs. Fryers break down, ovens need cleaning, equipment needs servicing. Setting aside somewhere between 500 and 2,000 pounds per month for maintenance is a safe bet.
Right, because a broken ice cream machine can turn a happy customer into a furious one pretty quickly.
Exactly. And then there are legal and professional fees. You might need to consult with lawyers, accountants, maybe other professionals throughout the setup and ongoing operation.
Okay, so we've got royalties, marketing, insurance, utilities, maintenance, and even legal fees. Wow, running a fast food franchise sounds like a constant juggling act.
It definitely is. You need to be on top of your game, managing your finances carefully.
But hey, at least we haven't even chosen a franchise yet. There are tons of options out there.
And each one comes with its own financial landscape.
Let's talk about some popular ones in the UK.
Yeah.
We've mentioned McDonald's, but what are some other big names vying for those hungry customers?
Well, alongside those iconic golden arches, you've got Subway with their customizable sandwiches, KFC and their finger-licking good chicken, and then there's Burger King, home of the Whopper. They each have different franchise fees, total investment ranges, and royalty structures.
So let's break those down. Give me the rundown on Subway.
All right, Subway's initial franchise fee is around £15,000, much lower than McDonald's.
Easier on the wallet, but still not chump change.
Right. But their total investment range is still a hefty £100,000 to £300,000.
So lower entry fee, but still a big overall investment. What about the ongoing costs, the royalties, and marketing fees?
Well, Subway takes a bigger bite out of your sales compared to McDonald's. They charge an 8% royalty fee and a 4.5% marketing fee.
So 12.5% of your gross sales every month, going back to the franchisor.
That's right.
Wow, that's quite a chunk. What about KFC? What are we looking at there?
For KFC, the initial franchise fee is about £30,000, and their total investment range is somewhere between £500,000 and £1 million.
So higher upfront costs than Subway, but maybe their ongoing fees are a bit lower.
KFC takes 6% in royalties and 4% in marketing fees, totaling 10% of gross sales. So they fall somewhere in the middle.
The middle child of the fast food world, at least when it comes to fees. Okay, what about Burger King?
Burger King's initial franchise fee is around £25,000, and their total investment range can be anywhere from £300,000 to £700,000.
So more flexible on the total investment. That could appeal to people with different budgets.
Exactly. And their royalty and marketing fees are pretty standard. 5% for royalties, 4% for marketing, totaling 9% of gross sales.
So we've got Subway at 12.5%, KFC at 10%, Burger King at 9%, and McDonald's at 8%. It's fascinating to see how those fees vary, even among some of the biggest players in the industry.
It is. And these differences can reflect a lot about the franchise's overall offering, the level of support they provide, the strength of their brand, their marketing power. It all factors into those percentages.
So it's not just about the upfront cost. It's about understanding the whole financial relationship you'll have with the franchisor and what you're getting in return. It's about finding the right fit for your goals, your budget, and your vision.
That's a great way to put it.
So let's say you've crunched the numbers, you've researched the different brands, and you're ready to say, I'm ready to flip some burgers. What are the actual steps involved in opening a franchise?
Well, before you start flipping those burgers, you got to make sure you're choosing the right franchise for you, not just the one with the flashiest ad campaign or the cheapest entry fee.
Right, because you're not just investing money, you're investing time, energy, passion. This is a big decision.
Exactly. And that's where research comes in. Don't just rely on brochures and websites. Talk to existing franchisees, visit their locations, get a real feel for the day-to-day operations. Ask yourself, can I see myself doing this?
Okay, so once you've done your homework and you're convinced this is the franchise for you, what's next?
Well, unless you've got a vault full of cash lying around, you're probably going to need financing. And we're talking serious money here, hundreds of thousands of pounds, maybe even more.
Yeah, not exactly pocket change.
Hmm.
What are some options for aspiring franchise owners?
Well, you can look into personal savings, bank loans, investors, or even franchise financing options offered by some franchisors. Each option has its own pros and cons, so it's important to do your research and choose the best fit.
So you've got your research done, your financing in place. Now it's time to make it official. How do you actually apply to become a franchisee?
You submit an application to the franchisor. This is their chance to get to know you, see if you're a good fit for their brand. Be prepared for interviews, background checks, a thorough review of your financial history. They want to make sure you're serious and capable.
So you've passed the interview, they're impressed with your business plan, and they've given you the green light. What happens next?
Now it's time to sign the franchise agreement.
This is the legally binding document that outlines the whole franchise relationship, right?
Exactly. Read it carefully, understand your obligations, the franchisor's obligations, all those details about the support they'll provide. Don't be afraid to ask questions, negotiate terms, and make sure you're comfortable with everything before you sign.
Definitely want to have a good lawyer at this stage, right?
Yeah.
To help navigate all that legal jargon.
Absolutely. Good legal counsel is a smart investment. Okay, so once the agreement is signed, it's time to tackle the next hurdle, finding the perfect location.
Location is everything, right? You could have the best burgers in town, but if you're hidden away in some back alley, nobody's going to find you.
You want visibility, high foot traffic, think busy streets, shopping centers, areas where people naturally congregate. Easy accessibility is key. Ample parking, easy access for deliveries, proximity to public transport.
Right. Got to make it easy for people to get their burger fix.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This stage involves research, market analysis, and often some tough negotiations. You might need to secure a lease, deal with landlords, navigate local regulations. It can be a complicated process.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It is. But finding the right location can make all the difference.
Okay, so you found the perfect spot, the lease is signed, you're getting excited. What's next?
Training. You and your staff need to learn the ropes, master those recipes, understand the operational procedures that make this franchise tick.
This is where you really get immersed in the brand culture.
Exactly. This training is usually provided by the franchisor, so you're learning from the experts. They'll teach you everything from food prep to customer service, inventory management to marketing techniques.
Sounds intense.
It can be, but it's an investment that pays off when you're finally ready to open those doors and welcome those hungry customers.
Okay, so training's complete, your team is prepped, the fryers are hot, the anticipation is sizzling. It's launch time.
That's right. Time to put all that hard work into action.
And to make that launch a success, you'll want to use the franchisor's marketing expertise, participate in national campaigns, and maybe even consider local promotions to attract those first customers. Make some noise and let everyone know you're open for business.
Exactly. Get that buzz going. But remember, the launch is just the beginning.
Now the real work begins.
Building a loyal customer base, managing your operations efficiently, and turning a profit.
Which brings us to our final segment, tips for success. You've come this far, you've opened your doors. Now, how do you make sure this fast food dream doesn't turn into a greasy nightmare?
That's where experience and strategic thinking come in. There are a few key ingredients to running a successful franchise.
Okay, give us the recipe for success. What are the essentials?
First and foremost, adhere to those brand standards. Consistency is key in the fast food world. Customers expect the same Big Mac, the same Whopper, the same Subway sandwich, no matter which location they visit.
Right, you can't have one location serving up a picture-perfect burger and another serving something that looks like it's been through a food fight.
Exactly. Maintaining those brand standards builds trust and keeps customers coming back for more.
And that consistency goes beyond just the food. It's about the service, the cleanliness, the whole experience.
It's all got to align with those brand standards.
Okay, brand standards are key. What else is crucial?
Effective management. Build a strong team, train them well, create a positive work environment. Happy employees lead to happy customers.
Right, no matter how delicious the food is, Terrible service will send customers running to the competition.
Exactly. Invest in your employees, empower them, create a culture of excellence where everyone is proud to be part of the team.
Okay, brand standards and effective management. What else?
Financial monitoring. You got to be on top of your numbers. Track expenses, revenue, profit margins, understand your cash flow,
Mm,
identify areas where you can cut costs, and make sure you're pricing your menu items strategically.
because it's not just about making burgers, it's about making money.
You got it. Financial savvy is essential.
All right, so we've got brand standards, effective management, and financial smarts. What else?
Engage with your customers. Building a loyal customer base is more important than ever. Use social media, loyalty programs, online reviews, connect with your customers, make them feel valued.
Right, build a community around your brand.
Exactly. And lastly, remember, the fast food industry is always evolving. New trends emerge, customer preferences change, technology comes along and shakes things up. You need to stay updated.
So don't be afraid to shake things up, try new things, keep your menu fresh and exciting.
Exactly. Embrace innovation, experiment with new technologies, and always look for ways to improve your operations and your customer experience.
Wow, this has been a lot to take in. From the initial investment to the ongoing costs, from finding the perfect location to building a loyal customer base, opening and running a fast food franchise is definitely not for the faint of heart. It's a serious commitment.
It is, but for those with the passion, the drive, and the business acumen, it can be incredibly rewarding.
And I think our listeners are ready for a little break. We'll be back soon with part 2 of this deep dive. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been digging into all the details of opening a fast food franchise here in the UK, and I gotta say, it's a lot to process.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about. But I think it's important to step back now and look at the bigger picture. What are some of the broader implications of joining this industry?
Well, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of all those burgers and fries, but you gotta remember, this is a business.
Right, it's not just about flipping patties.
And not just any business, a franchise. It comes with its own unique advantages and challenges that you need to be aware of.
Okay, so let's break those down. What are some of the benefits of going the franchise route, especially for someone new to the restaurant world?
Well, for one, you're not starting from scratch. You're buying into a proven system.
Right, you got a blueprint to follow.
A brand with a track record, a recognizable name. You're tapping into existing brand awareness, marketing power, operational expertise.
So you're basically getting a head start in the race.
Exactly. And along with that head start, you get support. The franchisor is there to guide you, offer training, provide marketing materials, help you navigate the challenges of running a business. You're not in this alone.
So you got a whole team in your corner.
That's right.
Sounds pretty good so far. But what about the downsides? What are some of the drawbacks of the franchise model?
Well, probably the biggest one is the cost. We talked about those big initial investments and those ongoing fees.
Right, those royalties and marketing contributions can really add up.
They eat into your profits.
And some might argue that those fees limit your creativity,
Hmm.
your entrepreneurial freedom.
True. There's definitely less flexibility compared to starting your own independent restaurant. You have to follow the franchisor's rules and guidelines.
But I guess some people might find that structure reassuring, especially in a high-pressure industry like fast food.
Absolutely. For some people, that's a big plus. Knowing what's expected, having that support system in place.
It's all about finding the right balance between freedom and structure.
Exactly.
Okay, but let's talk about the industry itself. What are some of the big trends and challenges facing the fast food sector in the UK right now?
Well, I think one of the biggest challenges is keeping up with the changing consumer landscape. Well, people are becoming more health conscious, more demanding, more tech savvy.
Yeah, got to have that online ordering.
Exactly. They want fresh, customizable options. They want convenience. They want to order from their phones.
That's a lot to juggle.
It is. So fast food franchises can't just rely on the same old burgers and fries anymore. They need to innovate, adapt, and stay ahead of the trends.
So we're talking about new technologies, healthier menu options,
Right.
and that seamless customer experience with online ordering and all that jazz.
Precisely. It's not just about serving up food anymore. It's about creating a whole experience, a brand that really connects with customers.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about the human side of all of this. We've talked about numbers and systems, but what about the people? What makes a successful fast food franchise owner? What are the key qualities they need to thrive in this industry?
Well, I'd say first and foremost, resilience. The fast food world is fast-paced, high-pressure, demanding. You'll face challenges, setbacks, long hours.
Yeah, you got to be able to handle the heat, literally and figuratively.
Exactly. And along with resilience, strong leadership skills, you've been managing a team, motivating employees, creating a positive work environment.
Because those employees are the face of your franchise,
Right.
interacting with customers every day. Their attitude and performance can really make or break the customer experience.
Absolutely. You also need great communication skills, both with your team and with your customers. Being able to clearly convey your vision, expectations, that brand message.
So we're talking about someone who's tough but fair, organized but adaptable, a leader who can inspire.
Hmm.
It's like a pretty demanding job, but also a rewarding one.
It definitely is.
Yeah,
And let's not forget about passion. Choosing a franchise you truly believe in that aligns with your values and your vision that can make all the difference.
right. Passion is that secret ingredient that takes it to the next level.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's get practical for a minute. What advice would you give to someone who's seriously thinking about taking the plunge and opening a fast food franchise? What steps should they take to make sure they're making a good decision?
Well, I always say start with research. Really dig into the different franchise options out there. Look beyond those flashy brochures and marketing
Get
material.
past the surface.
Exactly. Delve into the company's history, their values, their financial performance. Talk to existing franchisees, get their perspective, visit their locations, see what the day-to-day operations look like. Ask yourself, can I see myself doing this?
Get a real feel for it.
Exactly. And once you've got a few options in mind, carefully review that franchise agreement. That's a legally binding document, outlines your rights and obligations, so you need to understand every detail before signing.
Definitely get a lawyer involved at that stage.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to ask questions, negotiate terms, get that professional advice.
Okay, so research, due diligence, legal advice. What about the financial side? How can someone realistically figure out if they're financially ready for this kind of venture?
I always recommend creating a comprehensive business plan. This forces you to think through every aspect of the business, your target market, your marketing strategy, your operating costs, profit projections.
So it's not just about having enough for that franchise fee. It's about having a solid plan.
Exactly. And part of that plan is exploring financing options. Do you have enough savings? Will you need a loan? Investors? Each option has its own terms and conditions, so do your research.
Right, because getting financing for something this big can be tricky.
It can, but with a good plan and preparation, it's definitely possible.
Okay, so passion, resilience, leadership skills, business savvy, a good lawyer on speed dial.
Don't forget the lawyer.
Sounds like we've covered a lot of ground here. But what about the bigger picture? What about ethics and sustainability in this industry? Can you be both profitable and responsible?
That's a great question and a really important one. You know, the fast food industry has faced a lot of criticism in the past.
Yeah, for their environmental impact, labor practices, and the healthiness of their food.
Exactly. But there's a growing movement towards sustainability and ethical practices.
So it's not just about serving a quick and tasty meal anymore, it's about being mindful of the impact of that meal.
Right, on the environment, the people who make it, the health of the customers.
And our franchise is responding to this shift.
They are. A lot of them are taking steps to become more sustainable. Sourcing ingredients locally, reducing waste, investing in energy-efficient equipment, offering healthier menu options.
So it's important for potential franchise owners to do their research on this as well.
Absolutely. Ask about their sourcing policies, waste management, employee benefits, their approach to corporate responsibility.
It's about aligning your values with the franchise you choose.
Exactly. Finding a brand that you can be proud of that reflects your own commitment to making a positive impact.
And I bet that alignment can be really motivating.
It can, for you, your team, and your customers.
It's about building a business with a purpose.
Absolutely. So as you're making this decision, remember to look beyond the numbers.
Think about the bigger picture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Research those company values, their commitment to their employees and their communities. Ask yourself, do I believe in what this company stands for?
Because finding a franchise that aligns with your heart as well as your head, that can make all the difference.
It really can.
And that's a great point to transition to the final part of our deep dive. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've really been covering a lot of ground here, haven't we?
We have, from finances and operations to the importance of leadership and sustainability.
It's been quite a journey.
It has.
But for those who are truly passionate about the fast food industry, I think it could be an incredible one.
Absolutely. And, as we wrap up this deep dive,
Hmm.
I think it's important to go back to something we talked about earlier.
Okay.
Choosing a franchise that truly aligns with your values.
You're talking about more than just a love for burgers and fries, right?
Exactly. It's about finding a company that shares your beliefs.
Your principles.
Think about it. You're going to be representing this brand, their mission, you're interacting with customers.
They're the face of the company.
It's about more than just serving food. It's about aligning yourself with a company that you believe in.
So someone who's really into sustainability, they'd look for a franchise that focuses on things like local sourcing or reducing waste.
Exactly. Or if someone's really driven by social impact, they might choose a franchise that's known for treating their employees well or being involved in the community.
It's about finding that perfect match between your passion for the industry and what you care about most.
And that alignment can be really powerful. It can motivate you, your team, even attract customers who share those same values.
It's about building a business that you're truly proud of.
Exactly. So as you're going through this process,
Hmm.
weighing your options, making this big decision,
Don't just focus on the money.
right, look beyond the numbers, the brand
Keep
recognition,
digging.
research those company values, their commitment to their employees, to the community. Ask yourself, do I believe in what this company stands
I
for?
love that because at the end of the day, it's about finding a franchise that aligns with your heart.
And your head.
That's how you set yourself up for success.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's a great place to wrap things up. We've covered so much in this deep dive.
We have.
The financial realities, the operational challenges, the importance of leadership, that growing emphasis on sustainability.
It's a lot to consider.
It is, but hopefully our listeners feel a little more equipped now
I hope so.
to make those big decisions.
Right. With the knowledge and insights they need.
Exactly. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of fast food franchises here in the UK.
It's been a pleasure.
We wish you all the best on your entrepreneurial journey.